Hey guys, welcome back. Today is our third episode of Convicted. And today's conviction is gonna be kind of a hard one because this hurts deep inside of me because I've made this mistake for many, many years and I continue to make it on a nearly daily basis. But if you'll permit me, I'm gonna point my finger at you knowing that I'm pointing at myself. You don't pay attention. Now, when I talk about paying attention, I'm talking about paying attention in all kinds of ways. Paying attention to the wind when you're shooting, paying attention to your learning, and paying attention to others when they're having a conversation. If you see a bunch of top shooters together talking, stand back a little bit. Don't get in the middle of the conversation, but pay attention to what they are and what they are not talking about. You'll rarely hear a conversation about how to anneal properly, whether gas or amp is better, things like that, because it doesn't make any difference to any of us. None of us care because it doesn't make that much difference. It's not something that we depend on to create our accuracy. What do we talk about? We talk about load development. We talk about stocks. We talk about scopes. We talk about those things that are important to our success. And that's when you need to pay attention. Because there's little pieces of the puzzle. And the entire shooting thing is a puzzle. And you need that one piece to fit a couple of thoughts together to make it all work out. So why not go steal a hubcap and get that piece of information for free instead of having to shoot your way to the information? It takes a lot less ammunition and money to get it from someone else. You need to pay attention to your learning. And we're talking about all the levels of learning, from rote learning, which is your simple multiplication table memorization, all the way out to correlation. So levels of learning start with rote learning. You simply memorize something. I can teach you very quickly that a 30-degree angle off of your firing direction is a half-value wind. But why? Oops. We just walked into the second level of learning, and that's understanding. That's understanding that the wind is based on a circle, and that circle has functions, one of which is called sine, that you need to know. The sine of an angle from your direction of fire defines the percentage of the wind that is an actual crosswind component. Great, now you understand that the sine of the angle is your crosswind component. But just because you understand it doesn't mean that you can use it. And that takes us to our next level of learning, which is application. If you can apply what you've learned in the previous two steps, you can actually use that information in your shooting. If you know that a half-value wind is 30 degrees from the direction of fire, you look up and see the flag streaming approximately 30 degrees to the direction of fire with an approximate 10-mile-an-hour wind, you know to aim for a 5-mile-an-hour crosswind. And you can do that. You can make a read and fire a shot and hit in the middle of the target. But is that all it takes? Of course not. There's one more level of learning, and this is the one that you need to pay attention in order to get to. Because paying attention is not just paying attention and stealing hubcaps from high-level shooters. It also means things like paying attention when you're shooting, when you make that shot based on your application. Because making that shot based on application, you will quickly learn the correlation of angle and wind speed. You see, out to 30 degrees from directly down the line of fire, the amount of wind change for a given angle change is huge. So you have to be more sensitive to wind angle than to wind speed, because the wind angle is what gets you in that case. However, if you're looking at a nearly 90-degree crosswind, the wind speed is far more important than the wind angle, because from 65 degrees to 90 degrees is only a 10% change in the wind, and if the wind's blowing 10 miles an hour, yes, that's 1 mile an hour. But if you get a 2-mile-an-hour wind gust and don't catch it, you're going in the 8 ring. And that's why correlation is important. You start to realize that near the direction of fire, the angle is most important, and near the beam, out there at 90 degrees, the wind speed is more important. So you can start calculating what you need to be looking for most specifically. That's where paying attention comes in. if you pay attention to the inputs in your environment, you'll start to learn things, learn what to look for and where to look for them so that you get better at what you do. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful to you. Until next time, go learn the correlation, and I'll see you in the next video.